Homelander is one of the most terrifying characters that ever made. He can kill you in a second. No warning, no consequences. And he's clearly a monster, right? But here's the weird part. You're not supposed to like him, but you do. People actually enjoy watching him, and that seems abnormal. But from psychological view, it makes sense. So the real question is not why is he evil? The real question is, why do we secretly enjoy someone like Homelander? And the answer is way more uncomfortable than you think. I'm Dr. J and welcome to my channel. Let's start with something important. Homelander was not raised like a normal human. No mother, no real attachment, and no safe childhood. Just experiments, isolation, and people who treated him like a weapon, not a person. Now, here is the key point. When a child grows up without emotional connections, the brain doesn't develop normally, especially in areas which related to empathy and emotional regulation. So what happens? They don't learn how to feel with people. They only learn how to control them. But here's the twist. Homelander doesn't just lack empathy. He's starving for love. He wants validation like a child, but he has a power as a god. And that combination is dangerous. Because emotional starvation doesn't disappear with power. It just becomes more destructive. Now let's talk about something deeper. Homelander isn't just powerful. He's fragile, and that's the paradox of narcissism. On the surface, he looks confident, untouchable, and perfect. But underneath, there is extreme emotional insecurity. He needs constant validation. He needs people to admire him, fear him, and love him, because without that he collapses. This is called fragile narcissism, and when someone like that has unlimited power, even a small criticism is like an attack. That's why Homelander doesn't just get angry. He erases people emotionally or physically, not because he's strong, but because he can't tolerate feeling small. Now let's talk about something that people joke about. The milk. A lot of viewers think it's just weird or random, but psychologically it actually makes sense. Milk is one of the earliest source of comforts in humans. It associated with safety, dependency, and motherhood. So when an adult character fixated on it in an intense way, it often symbolized something deeper, regression, a return to a state that everything was simple and easy. For Homelander, who never had real emotional security, this becomes a substitute for something that he never had. Not love, but comfort without rejection. And that's what makes it disturbing, because it shows he's still psychologically stuck in a childlike emotional state, inside a body that can destroy cities. Now here is the biggest difference. Most people think Homelander is just evil, but the real difference is something else. He doesn't experience emotions the same way we do. Normal humans feel empathy automatically. When someone suffers, we feel a small version of that pain. That's what keeps society functioning. But Homelander doesn't have that filter. He understands emotions intellectually, but not emotionally. So when he sees fear, emotion, and love, he doesn't feel it with others. He only interprets it in relation to himself. That's why every interaction becomes about dominance, control, or validation, not connection. And this is where the gap becomes unfixable. He's not just different. He is emotionally isolated at the core of his psychology. Finally, let's go back to the origin question. Why do people enjoy watching Homelander? It's not because we think he's good. It's because he represents something extreme. Power without limits. emotion without control, and trauma without healing. He's terrifying, but he's also fascinating, because deep down, Homelander is not just a villain. He is a warning about what happens when emotional development breaks, but power doesn't. And maybe that's why we can't look away, because part of us wants to understand him, even if we know we shouldn't.